I'm Tim McGonigal. We begin this evening with news from the Great Falls Diocese. The Diocese of Great Falls Billings has agreed to settle 86 sexual abuse claims for $20 million. It ends a lawsuit that began in 2012. The lawsuit alleges that multiple priests and nuns working for the diocese sexually abused children from the 1950s through the 1990s. Bishop Michael Warfel says the terms of the settlement are subject to a number of steps in the bankruptcy process, and he added there's no doubt that there will be some pain involved in reaching that $20 million figure.
Certainly we'll lose some of our real property from the diocese. We'll need to sell off some things. We're not closing any parishes over this, and then any funds that would come from parishes would be a voluntary donation on the part of the parishes. That's why we're talking with the priest, and where they need to talk with their parishioners.
Now, last month, the diocese became the first in the United States to file for a motion to dismiss the bankruptcy, and at that time, Bishop Warfel said the outlook for a settlement was bleak, and taking the abuse claims to court could result in years of litigation. The diocese says the settlement was reached last week after more than a year of mediation attempts. Bishop Warfel hopes the settlement will give survivors of abuse a sense of resolution.
It's hard to say exactly what someone would say is fair or just or provides accountability, but it is my hope that it would provide at least some level of accountability for those who did suffer sexual abuse as a minor, and provide some opportunity to move forward in their lives.
Great Falls Billings was the 15th diocese in the United States to file for bankruptcy. The attorneys who worked with the 86 victims are reacting to the settlement today. Attorney Brian Smith of the Tamaki law firm says that this is what they are taking away from this is that it was not about the money, but about the church acknowledging what was done.
All we have in the civil justice system is the payment of money for the acknowledgement of wrongdoing. It is symbolic of the harm that has been done to these adults who were children at the time as a result of profound, severe neglect and negligence. The most important aspect of this settlement is just the acknowledgement by the church that they failed these kids.
Smith says the vast majority of the victims he represented were Native American, with much of the abuse taking place on area reservations. Smith says through previous cases they have identified a pattern where often priests who were deemed as problems were sent to rural areas where they went unsupervised after legal fees. If split equally, each of the 86 plaintiffs would end up with less than $230,000. But attorneys say that number will vary for each victim based on severity and duration of abuse.